Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys 15 things you need to know about the Nagasaki Stryder before you end up buying it in Grand Theft Auto Online. So this is definitely one of the more interesting unreleased vehicles that Rockstar have introduced in the Diamond Casino heist, and it's also one of the cheaper of the bunch. So it's actually available on the Legendary Motorsports site. It has a buy it now price of $670,000, and you can get it at a discount with the trade price for $502,500. Now, the only way you can get that is by using it as an escape vehicle in the Diamond Casino heist missions. And now is probably not a great time to try and use this vehicle because of during the snow. We'll actually talk about why that might be the case in a little bit, but if you do manage to unlock the trade price, it'll save you $167,500 off of this motorcycle. And that's another thing as well. Even though you guys can see it is a three-wheeled trike, it is actually in the motorcycle category. Now, if you're wondering what this little trike is based off of, I think it most closely resembles a Can-Am Spyder, which is why Rockstar might have gone with the name Stryder, just because of it's sort of like a parody of what it is. Now, also on the Legendary Motorsports site, the description is Nagasaki once again proves that four wheels aren't necessary with their all-new Stryder, but neither are two. Just give the engine a few powerful revs, and you'll soon convince yourself there's no shame in adults riding trikes. No shame, really. There's nothing weird about it, not at all, nada. Stop overthinking and buy it now. Again, another funny description from Rockstar. But anyways, let's get this vehicle inside of the Los Santos custom shop. And I was disappointed with the last vehicle we looked at, so I was kind of worried about the Nagasaki Stryder. And once again, it doesn't have a ton of customization. At least this time, it has something that you can do. The previous vehicle, I think it was like the Outlaw, had absolutely nothing. So with this vehicle, the first unique thing that we can modify is the exhaust. There's a handful of options like carbon stock exhaust, street exhaust, racer, sports, and ultimately quad exhaust, which I think is what I ended up going with. So some fun changes that you can make there. Now, the next unique thing that you can do, believe it or not, are the liveries. At least this is kind of fun that this trike has some liveries that we can apply. The first is orange stripe, and even though this one's very simple, I kind of like this one a lot. It's just a bright orange stripe that sort of goes down the center of the trike itself, and you can see all the way from the front to the back. That is what it does. That's pretty simple. That is orange stripe. The next one is dual white stripe, which on the left-hand side has like a bigger white stripe, and on the right-hand side has a thinner white stripe. It's also sort of offset. I don't know if Rockstar did that intentionally as like a design aesthetic or if that's a glitch. Either way, I like the simplicity of the liveries we've been getting so far. So that is a dual white stripe. Red and blue stripe is also another good one. This is a very patriotic looking one. It's very similar to dual white stripe, but you've obviously got some touches of red and blue in there as well. It's also off-centered too, or maybe it's lined up with the gasket. I don't know. I really can't tell with this vehicle, but that is a blue and red stripe. Triple stripe is the next one, and triple stripe is a fun one also. You've sort of got these red, white, and green colors. I don't know why Rockstar specifically chose those colors for this bike, but they did. And this one is like definitely off-centered. It's almost like touching the left headlight. So again, I don't know why Rockstar opted to make it so off-centered. It's kind of like bugging my OCD a little bit. Maybe that's how it was supposed to be intentionally, but that right there is triple stripe. Now, the next one is Stryder stripes, which I'm also a big fan of. It adds sort of like this like light bluish gray big stripe down the center, and you can see it as Stryder written kind of where like the rider is supposed to sit. So a pretty cool livery right there. The first 6 or so have all been just like variations of stripes. And that includes the next one, which is dual gradient stripe. But I really like this one a lot. It sort of transitions from this like bright pinkish purple to these light blues as you go further back on the bike. I am a big fan of this one. So that is dual gradient stripes. Kind of gives me some Vice City vibes right there. So that's a fun one. The next one is also another fun one, and that is Speedophile, which I think is one of the watercraft brands in game, and it adds this like fun sort of bright yellowy orange sort of two-tone design where most of the livery is on the front and then your primary color would still be on the back and the rear with, of course, you've got the Speedophile sponsorship on there, so that's pretty neat. And now we're starting to get in some of the racing ones. The next one is Wang 91, which is this really cool like chevron red, white, and blue pattern. And you've got a couple of other sponsorships on there like Wang and Tenshun. So that's a cool one there. And then, of course, it has 91 on the front. So it's sort of a racing livery. The next livery is Cox 6, which seems a little bit weird until you realize that the Liberty City Cox are actually like a soccer team, I think, in the GTA universe. And it's this interesting, like, minty lime green color with a couple of other sponsorships like Chappal and Flint on there as well. So definitely an interesting one. I can't say this is the one that I would go for, but maybe you guys would want to do it. And the final one, which I really like, is Jackal Racing 99. I love like the bright pinks and purples and reds and oranges here. It's just like a fun design. I don't know if I chose like an awesome secondary color to go with it, but I still thought that that was a really cool look. The Jackal Racing ones are always usually really good. So that's Jackal Racing 99. Now, after our liveries, we actually have the chance to put on the rear mud guards if we want. And there's a couple of options here. You start with stock, but you could go with carbon, street carbon, racer, and then racer carbon. So it's kind of an interesting design. It's also hard to see, so it doesn't have a huge impact on the vehicle. And after that, it's time to modify our respray options. And you've got your primary color, which is going to change the body of the vehicle for the most part. Anything like the livery, it doesn't touch. And the secondary color is going to have an impact on that little like fin on the back. I don't know like the best way to describe what that is. And then also on like the grill, you, sort of like what's underneath sort of shines through. So there you go. That's what your primary and your secondary color ultimately does. Now, another thing to note with this vehicle is it looks like you actually can't change the rims. So I think this vehicle has a specific set of wheels that cannot be changed unless, of course, you were using some type of mod menu. And that's exactly what I wanted to try next. And yeah, it turns out that you actually can change these rims with the mod menu. You can also change the color of the stock rims if you want. So that's actually going to be good news for you guys when this vehicle does eventually arrive and online, that it looks like using the iFruit app in the Los Santos Custom Shop, you'll be able to change the color of the rims. Obviously, since it's a motorcycle, we can't open any of the doors or anything like that. There's no trunk, there's no hood that you can pop open for car shows and whatnot. The headlights also pretty standard, nothing all that unique there. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting vehicle. What's really my overall review with it? I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of trikes like this. I always feel like they're really hard to drive and control. And that's sort of the first impression that I got with this vehicle as well. It's very hard to control. And I don't know if this is just because I'm a bad driver, but it seemed like every single curb or bump that I hit, it would send this bike spinning out. And that's obviously a big problem. Now, because it's a trike, you're going to fall off a little bit less than normal, like a motorcycle. But because Rockstar doesn't have separate categories for motorcycles and trikes, this thing is obviously going to be well short of anything in the speed department. So you're not going to be buying this vehicle if you want to win motorcycle races. Let's just say that. And I really don't think you'll be buying this vehicle if you want to do anything fun and free roam. I just personally don't think it's all that great of a car. Luckily, if you're just head over heels in love with this vehicle and you want to buy it, it's not terribly expensive. And it does have some fun liveries on there. And if you're like a trike collector for whatever reason you might be, you could certainly add it to your collection. And it would be a unique ride, that's for sure. But what is my personal opinion on the Nagasaki Stryder? I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's not all that interesting. It's hard to drive. But again, if you like it, which of course is your personal choice, go for it. You might have fun with it. And maybe if you're a better driver than me, you'll be able to control it a little bit easier. But anyways, that right there is 15 things you need to know about the Nagasaki Stryder motorcycle in Grand Theft Auto Online. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What are your thoughts, opinions, and more on this vehicle? Are you a fan of it? Are you not a fan of it? Are you going to be buying it? Are you going to be staying away from it? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Diamond Casino Heist videos that I'm going to be doing here on my channel over the next couple of days and weeks. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.